Rise and shine. It's time to get the day started with the morning show of record for the Homestead community. It is the Farm2Table Direct Show, morning edition. Today's show, 20 Great Depression life hacks that are probably still relevant today. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you all in this morning. Good morning, bro. Good morning, Scotty. Glad to see you all in. It is Thursday, so I know Robbie from Wild Huckleberry won't be with us today. He's doing his thing on Thursday mornings, and that is okay. Well, I tell you what, folks, it is good to be with you again today. Uh, we're still here in the frozen tundra, although it thawed out some yesterday. The roads became passable. I was able to get out of the house for a few minutes yesterday just to check those, but it is frozen cold. And with that, let's go check in with Dyer Family Farm for the Redneck Weather Report and see what is happening here. All right, let's see. Come on over here to Jack. All right.
Well, good morning, Rednecks. It is 7 degrees, February the 20th, 2025. Got 11 mile an hour north wind, making it feel like it is negative 8 degrees today. We're going to get all the way to 21 degrees. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Wow. That's all I can say about that. That is cold. Hey, good morning there. Robbie, didn't expect to see you in this morning. Uh, yeah, usually on a Thursday, but I guess maybe your schedule's a little off this week too. Couldn't make my Bible study. I got you. Well, hope that back gets to feeling better. Nothing like that. Good morning, Joey Bartlett. Good morning, Greg and Donna Duncan. Glad to see you at Duncan Family Farm. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you all in this morning. Well, I'm going to tell you what, it was when I looked at the weather earlier, what was it? It was 5 degrees, feels like -3 up here on the mountain. It is quite a cold day, but hang on, we're going to pause for just a second.
Overdosed young creamer.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Don't
My loving wife just brought me a piping hot cup of coffee. Set this here. My dog, don't knock it down. She's been being needy today, but that's all right. Okay, back on. Here we go. All right. Well, hope everybody is doing well as expected. I know, like I said, Robbie will be praying for that back, but hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody faring through the weather yesterday. Okay. Well, we're going to get there, bro. Stop trying to run the show. Uh, anyway, but anyway, yeah, we're anyway. No, we're going to share a little something before we get into the news headlines. And I was kind of waiting to give everybody time to get in, so I didn't have to, replay it more than once. But here we go. We're going to get right on into this and see what we can do. Let me see, find this up here. Now, last night, something strange was happening in the neighborhood. We're going to play a little clip, and then we'll talk about this.
Got this strange white light. See where the green dot's at on it? Yeah, it's just floating up there in the sky. And then I was seeing a red light in the tree line over there past the car. Oh, there it is. See if I can see that. Where is it at? Way in the trees up there. See that little light right there? That's, it's red if you look at it on your eyes. Kind of weirdness is going on up here. There it is, still there. It's got colors on it, like red and green. Where'd it go? I don't know. Strangest thing. Anybody else seeing this in the skies above Cedarville? I don't know. But
Anyway, Y'all been inside. I tell you, it was strange. It was moving around. When I first got out, that video was actually several minutes after I first saw it, and uh, you know. Uh, Anyway, it was several minutes after I first saw it, and I was not happy. I don't know. It kind of had me a little beside myself because I've been in the military. I spent a lot of years in the military. Know what a helicopter, how it can move, and it wasn't that it was moving out of the ordinary. That's what I'm thinking. Uh, uh, Probably let me bring that comment up. As I may have some drones around me last night, and that's kind of what I'm thinking because. The reason I say that's because of the maneuverability, the way it maneuvered and everything. As I said, I've been around helicopters and they've got a distinct sound. They put an exhaust note out pretty far. And we have helicopters come over on a fairly regular basis. I don't know if we're in one of the flight patterns or what, but so that, I don't know. And I thought, well, maybe, something happening going on, but it was pretty close when I first saw it. It was just kind of right above the trees there, it looked like, but it kind of slowly drifting it west, and anyway, but it kind of eventually went out of sight. But took quite some time, and now the red lights, they're still there, so I'm fairly positive. And I'd forgot when I was recording that last night that down the way through the woods back there is some high voltage power lines, and so I'll answer that question in a minute, Gray. But anyway, so I'm pretty well sure that they're still blinking this morning. So I'm pretty sure those are just, the marker lights. But that other thing now, I don't know. Because like I said, I've seen, the way it moved, it could have been a drone. I don't know. I just know that there was something strange in the skies above my house last night. And I usually have a habit getting late in the evening. I'll go stare out my doors. You can see there, it's a glass door that I go through. But anyway, I'll go check. I just kind of look across the yard. Our kids live across the yard, their lights on and stuff, and I'll just kind of gander across through the yard, make sure everything looks okay before I start getting ready to go to bed. And well, last night that caught my attention, needless to say. Now, Duncan Family Farm asked if did it hold up to the 12 gauge test. The thought crossed. Might have crossed a mind or two last night, but I even thought about getting the spotlight out and, beaming up on it and seeing what happened. But I thought, yeah, no, I just decided to leave that alone. I was more fascinated with it. Shot about 4 videos on that, but that's the one that we chose to upload this morning. And I don't know if it was Keith asked, Bro asked if it did it blink in a perfect rhythm. I don't know if it was a perfect rhythm or not. I did notice it had, like red and green blinks to it on, one side. But again, couldn't see it well enough to see if they were in a perfect rhythm. But anyway, so let's see what Scotty got to say. I ended up in the hospital. I had something stuck in my throat. It was chicken, but they got it out home with my sore throat. But we'll take time to heal. Well, Scotty, we'll be praying for you, brother. That we gotta be careful with our food. That's for sure. But I'm glad they got it out. I'm glad that you're home. But we'll be praying for you, brother. All right. Well, now that we've kind of had the X Files, anyway, can't do that rhythm. But now that we've had the X Files, let's move on forward and get into today's reality smackdown. Dairy Queen abruptly closes 24 locations. I've heard 24, 25. I don't know about that. That one's bothersome to me. I can't stand the idea that they're closing a DQ. Now, I don't go. We've got one here, and I don't go that much. It's not my favorite place to go. But anyway, but still, just signs of the time. If it's some of those ones like those, just where it's just the ice cream that's sticking them off, whatever. But anyway, apparently they're going to be sold by location in auction, but you got to buy everything. Anyway, U.S. Appeals Court blocks Biden era student debt relief plan. That kept happening anyway. So anyway. And Trump said he's instructed DOJ to terminate all remaining Biden era U.S. attorneys. I don't know. Cleaning house. That's what I got a feeling I hear going on around there. Uh, anyway, seen this little headline this morning. President Donald Trump loves the idea of sending U.S. taxpayer checks funded by a portion of the savings achieved by the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. That's interesting. I read on it half or like a certain amount of it going to that and a certain amount going to paying the national debt down. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. For those who didn't see it, President Trump and Elon Musk were on a side-by-side interview with Sean Hannity. Delta Airlines is offering $30,000 to each of the 76 passengers aboard the plane that flipped upside down the other day at Toronto's Pearson Airport. Interesting. I don't know. Just a thought. $30,000. Who couldn't use that? But anyway, that is today's Reality Smackdown, along with the X-Files. Now, let's slide right on for this day in history. 1792, the U.S. Postal Service created postage, 6 to 12 cents, depending on distance. Now, that was in 1792, they were charging that. And this is 2025, and it's 50 cents or something like that, 40-something cents, 50 cents, I don't know. Seems kind of crazy. Makes you wonder. Maybe that's why they, yeah, there we go. We'll bring that back up. Some channels were reporting refunds to Americans. Oh, we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, seems like no wonder they're running bankrupt all the time, running in the negative. Government's having to support them with rates that cheap. But anyway, 1909, the Hudson Motor Company is founded in Detroit, Michigan by retail type Joseph L. Hudson and other investors. That's right, the Hudson Hornet came out of that little operation. 1933, U.S. House of Representatives completes congressional action to repeal prohibition. Yay! Anyway, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I know a lot of people happy in 1933 about that. Of course, they were in the middle of the Great Depression, so maybe they weren't happy. I don't know. 1939, American pro-Nazi organization German American Bund hold a rally at Madison Square Garden, and 20,000 people attend. You notice lately you've seen the pro-Palestinian and all this anti-American, all this stuff, pro-Hamas rallies and stuff, and we think, well, what are these people thinking? Well, just goes to show you, it's happened before. 1962, John Glenn becomes first American to orbit the Earth around Friendship 7. What a view that must have been. What a view. Anyway, 1972, 14th Daytona 500. A.J. Foyt dominates the race, winning by almost 2 laps over his closest competitor, Charlie Glotzbach. A.J. Foyt, winner of the Indianapolis 500 and the Daytona 500. Anyway, 1988, Peter Kalikow purchases New York Post from Rupert Murdoch for $37.6 million. Wonder what that's worth today. 2016, a 4-inch lock of John Lennon's hair sells for $35,000 to a memorabilia collector at an auction in Dallas, Texas. Just goes to show you, people are crazy. And 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden declares a major disaster in Texas. State struggles to cope with aftermath of crippling winter storm. Now, that couldn't have possibly been caused by, I don't know, bad government. Anyway, not the snow, but, all the other stuff. Yeah, that stuff. Anyway, let's get right on into today's show. 20 Great Depression life hacks that are still relevant today. This is another list from Homestead How To and Tamara White, but we're going to get right into it here in a minute. Hard times force people to get creative, and no era tested ingenuity quite like the Great Depression. Our grandparents and great-grandparents had to make do with what they had, stretching every resource to its limit just to put food on the table and keep their families clothed. Many of their everyday habits, reusing fabric, making meals from scraps, and finding alternative ways to preserve food, became second nature. You might already be using some of these tricks without even realizing where they came from. For homesteaders today, these old-fashioned skills are just as valuable as they were back then. Whether you're looking to save money, reduce waste, or become more self-sufficient, there's a lot to learn from the resourcefulness of these past generations. So we're going to get right into this. Well, the first one, stretching meals with cheap ingredients. During the Great Depression, families had to make every meal count. Stretching food with inexpensive staples like beans, rice, potatoes, and flour allowed them to create filling dishes on a budget. Adding a little oatmeal or rice to soups and stews helped make meals last longer, ensuring there was always something to eat. Even today, these simple additions can help cut grocery costs and reduce food waste. And I will say this, I said, we had pinto beans and fried taters, some cornbread, quite a bit when I was a kid. It was just good food. Still think it's good food. Didn't realize it was mom and dad trying to feed a family of 6 and save money back in the day. But anyway, there you go. Number 2, regrow vegetables from scraps. Says, why throw away vegetable scraps when you can turn them into fresh produce? Many vegetables, including onions, celery, lettuce, and potatoes, can be regrown from kitchen scraps. Simply place the ends in water, and within days, roots and new shoots will begin to appear. Once they're strong enough, transfer them to soil and continue growing your own food for free. There's a nice little tip right there for all you folks getting ready to get your gardens in. Anyway, there you go. Number 3, make bone broth from leftovers. No part of an animal went to waste during the Great Depression, and bones were no exception. By boiling bones with vegetable scraps, families created nutrient-rich broths for soups, stews, and gravies. Today, making bone broth is still a great way to get the most out of your food. You can even store leftover bones in the freezer until you're ready to make a batch. Anyway, number 4, preserve food without refrigeration. Before refrigeration, food preservation techniques like root cellaring, canning, drying, and fermenting were essential. These methods extended the shelf life of fruits, vegetables, and meats, ensuring families had food year-round. Learning these time-tested preservation skills today can reduce dependence on electricity and prevent food waste. Number 5, forage for wild edibles. Nature provides an abundance of free food if you know where to look. Wild greens like dandelions, purslane, and lamb's quarters, as well as berries and nuts, were foraged during tough times. There's a lot of folks out there, Bo Brown, our good friends Stuart and Ashley Klaus from Restoration Farms, and others that teach this stuff about how to forage and what to forage for and where to look. So anyway, number 6, we're going to have to move through this pretty quick. Cook with less fuel. Fuel was a precious resource during the Great Depression. People found creative ways to cook using minimal wood or coal. Hay box cookers, solar ovens, and rocket stoves helped conserve energy. Wood stoves were often used to cook meals while also heating the home. If we heat with wood, consider using the stove to cook meals, boil water, or brew coffee instead of relying on electricity. Save and repurpose everything. Number 7, during hard times, nothing was thrown away. Worn-out clothes were turned into quilts or cleaning rags. Broken tools were repaired, and even food scraps reposed for compost and animal feed. The mindset of finding a second life for every item is invaluable for homesteaders looking to be more self-sufficient. I grew up with that one. Still kind of have to be careful on that one so I don't hoard too much, so I don't end up with. I've got a pretty good junk pile, as my wife calls it. But anyway, that one. Number 8, one of my favorites: barter and trade for supplies. Money was scarce, so people relied on bartering to get what they needed. Homegrown food, handmade goods, and skills were traded for essential supplies. This practice is still useful today, trading eggs for honey, mending clothes in exchange for fresh produce, or exchanging firewood for home canned goods are just a few ways to save money and strengthen community connections. Number 9, make homemade cleaning products. Store-bought cleaners weren't always an option, so people used simple ingredients like vinegar, baking soda, and soap scraps to keep their homes clean. These homemade solutions are not only cost-effective, but also safer and free from those harsh chemicals that we all don't like. Anyway, those are still good things. Sew and mend clothing. Buying new clothes wasn't an option for many families, so they mended and repurposed what they had, patching up worn-out jeans, reinforcing socks, or sewing buttons back on extended the life of clothing. If a piece of clothing was beyond repair, the fabric was saved for quilting, rags, or other practical uses. Grew up that way too, and still good idea. We just gotten away from it. Save and reuse water. Water conservation was a necessity during the Great Depression. Obviously, Dust Bowl, etc. Families collected rainwater for drinking, washing, and watering plants. Gray water from washing dishes or laundry was reused for cleaning or irrigation. This habit is just as useful today, especially for homesteaders looking to conserve resources. Number 12, grow a small-scale garden. This one's the one that's a pretty big one right here. A backyard garden was a lifeline for families, providing fresh produce without the cost of store-bought food, calorie-dense crops like potatoes, squash, and beans, which, by the way, are good, were grown to ensure food security. Even a small garden today can yield an abundance of fresh, homegrown food. Keeping chickens, rabbits, or ducks provided families with a steady source of eggs, meat, and natural fertilizer. These animals required minimum space and were easy to raise, making them an essential part of self-sufficient living. Even now, backyard chickens and rabbits can help reduce grocery bills and provide a sustainable food source, especially at $6 plus a dozen of eggs. I know they could be higher. Joe Salatin gave a little thing on that the other day, that if they had kept up with the inflation of wages and everything else, that eggs would be about $28 a dozen. So there you are. But yeah, noticed that the other day. Anyway, number 14, we got to move on through this. Make homemade soap. Soap was often made from scratch using wood ash, animal fat, and water. Some families added medicinal herbs for extra benefits. Making your own soap today is a great way to cut costs and reduce reliance on store-bought hygiene products. My niece's nephew Josh is making some good soaps. Got a bar of it sitting on the counter in the bathroom in there. Makes a couple of different versions. But anyway, so good thing. Number 15, heat your home without electricity. Families survive cold winters, like the one we're in now, without modern heating by relying on wood stoves, heavy curtains, and passive solar heating. They closed off unused rooms, which I've done, insulated windows with blankets, and used sunlight to warm their homes during the day. These simple strategies can help homesteaders reduce heating costs and stay warm off-grid. Blankets, and lots of blankets. Number 16, DIY candles and oil lamps. Electricity wasn't available. Homemade lighting solutions were essential. Candles were made from rendered animal fat or beeswax, and old cooking oil was repurposed for oil lamps. Even broken candles were melted down and reshaped into new ones. Yep. Nothing got thrown away, nothing got wasted. And so did we, Joey. So did we. Number 17, build and repair. Build and repair with salvaged materials. Every material had value and nothing was wasted. Reclaimed wood, scrap metal, and old nails were used to build or repair homes, barns, and fences. If you're looking for affordable materials, check with people who need old buildings torn down. Many will let you take the material for free as long as you remove them. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, that right there, I've got a trailer full of repurposed wood. It's pallet material and things like that. That is exactly for some of my projects. I've been using them in this house renovation, some of it. Repurposed wood. I haven't gotten rid of a lot. And now I have done this. Now we had a bucket full of nails, and my job was to straighten out the old crooked nails so we could keep reusing them. So I grew up doing that one right there for sure. Wrapping up on this one. Yeah, we got to get 20 minutes. Sorry, we're doing good. 18, use hand-powered tools. Electric tools weren't always available, so people relied on hand drills, saws, grain mills, and other manual tools. Keeping a set of non-electric tools on hand ensures that work can still be done even in a power outage. Now, I got several hand saws, and I used to have a few more. I got to dig them all out. My hand drill needs some work. But that stuff's still very real, keeping those hand tools, non-electric. I love my electric tools, but, it's good to keep some basics around. I've got some hand planers, and I've got a draw blade and some other things that are out there if I need them, if I got some work to do. Number 19, compost everything possible. Food scraps, manure, and garden waste were composted to create nutrient-rich soil for growing food. This practice reduces weight and helps create a more sustainable homestead. That one's, if you got, that's a little more effort, but it's worth it. I remember people growing compost piles and putting it on their gardens and stuff. Good deal. And number 20, rounding it out, make simple homemade remedies. During the Great Depression, people couldn't always afford doctors or medicine. Who can afford them now? But anyway, so they turned to natural remedies. Garlic, honey, mint, and other herbs were used for common ailments. Simple remedies were still useful today for minor illnesses and first aid. And I want to show that right quick. This is a bro. These hacks was my childhood at Granny's. Yes, absolutely sure was. And good morning, Dyer Family Farm. Good morning, Jack. Glad to see you in this morning with us, buddy. We played your weather report earlier. You got up first for a while. You got a little colder than us there. But anyway, those are the list of the 20. Again, you can find this on Homestead How To. You can find this very same list. But anyway, just some interesting things. And some of those, like I said, were life hacks that we grew up, Keith and I grew up with. And many of y'all did as well. And we've kind of gotten into ways of convenience and the ways of modernity, if you will. But good things to kind of sometimes look back on and, think back. Think back on, those ways that we did things when we were, or our grandparents did things, and look at them and say, you know what, that's still a good idea. It's just we don't want to do the work. We've gotten lazy, to be honest with you. A lot of us have. And but it's good to see that people are returning back to their roots. And so sometimes good just to go over some of those lists of things and whether to remember, I remember doing that. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Just kind of that kind of thing. So, and yes, blaming Jack for the weather. Ain't that the way it goes, Jack? The weatherman gets the blame. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't get the credit when it was good. Oh, I got to share that. Had to shoot the weather report twice this morning. I think my brain froze up. I could understand that. I'm getting ready to have to go at it and get it and go to work, and I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah, like I said, Jack, none of the credit when it's good, but all of the blame. But anyway, all right, so let's move right along, looking at the timer there. Tip of the day: if it doesn't bring peace, profit, or purpose, then don't give it your time, energy, or attention. Man, I love that when I read that. If it doesn't bring peace, profit, or purpose, then don't give it your time, energy, or attention. Now, there's only one thing. A lot of these things we know individually, different things can bring peace. You can work for profit. It has a purpose for what you're doing. But I will tell you, there ain't nothing like spending time. The only thing I know that does all three is the word of the Lord. That's the only thing I know. Is the word of God. And but anyway, if it doesn't bring peace, profit, or purpose, then don't give it your time, energy, or attention. So there's your tip of the day. Anyway. Yes, it is. That is a very good tip. That's what I thought when I seen it. All right, upcoming events. Here we go. Let's go down this list real quick as we begin to wind down the morning. February 21st, 22nd, Homesteaders of Iowa Expo 2025, Ottawa, Iowa. Monty Shrunk, the Suburban Sodbuster, our good buddy Monty, will be there at that one. So if you're up in that neighborhood or traveling through, you might want to check that out. Boston Mountain Homesteading Workshop, March 1st, Chester, Arkansas. That's in my backyard. It's a one-day thing going on there in Chester. A lot of workshops and stuff, but they can be found on Facebook or the old Google machine. Man, what is today? Today is the 20th, so that means there's 28 days to Okie Homestead Expo. 28 days in a wake up. Yeah, I'm hoping that somebody. If they did what they normally do, my truck is starting and running, waiting on me. So, but I hope the brakes aren't frozen either, Jack. But anyway, so March 21st, 22nd, Okie Homestead Expo, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets are still on sale, $50, 2-day pass. Looking forward to that one. The time is ticking down on that. All right, let's see. And the very next weekend, Arkansas Homesteading Conference, March 29th, Cleveland County Fairgrounds, Rising, Arkansas. $20 for adults, 17 and under are free. That one's a growing one, getting attention. So anyway, hope it does well this year. April 12th, New Beginnings Homestead Expo, Nowata, Oklahoma, New Beginnings Church. Chris Reeves in charge of that. You can find that, I believe. Yeah, search it around on Facebook. I know you can find it. But anyway, Keith and I have been asked to speak, along with Dwayne Hall and a few others. It's going to be a good single day event there as well. April 25th and 26th, the busiest weekend in the spring. The Shindig Ozark Living Expo, April 25th, 26th, Newton County Fair and Rodeo, Jasper, Arkansas. The same weekend, the Homestead Conference first year event, Waco, Texas, April 25th and 26th. Adults 99, kids 3 to 17, 13. They got that price up, but their speaker lineup is incredible. Again, if you're in that area and you got looking for something to do, that's a good one. And of course, 10 Killer YouTube Meetup, the talk of the chat, the talk of the town, as everybody's looking forward to that as well. April 25th, 26th, and 27th. Lake 10 Killer, Oklahoma, Cherokee, Cherokee Landing up there. And if you are gonna go, they ask that you email RSVP. I'm gonna put that chat right quick. Right there at that email address right there. They ask if you're going to, RSVP to that, if you're going to be there one day, all days, whatever, or if you just got some questions. But they can also be found on Facebook at 10 Killer YouTube Meetup 2025. I did notice that they've got the artwork out, so for the t-shirts and all that stuff. So it's going to be a good looking artwork this year, again this year. Say that one fast. Anyway, so moving right on up there, Homestead Festival at Hardison Mills near Columbia, Tennessee, June 6th and 7th. $75 general admission, kids 6 to 17, $25. That's Rory Feek's place. That is a monster event there as well. So that's going to be a good one in the summer. Nice place. First part of June. Oh, and we'll jump through the summer. Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshfield, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. $50 2-day pass. Kids 13 to 17 are $15. 12 and under free. Must have a ticket. Miss Cheryl's got another great lineup this year. It's going to be a good expo up there this year as well, it looks like. Our very own Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, September 26th and 27th, Southeast Expo Center, McAllister, Oklahoma. $15 at the door. That lineup is shaping up. Sponsors are getting on board. We've got vendors lined up. It is going to be bigger and better this year. And of course, rounding out the year, Homesteaders of America Conference 2025 in Front Royal, Virginia, October 10th and 11th. Just read last night a little post from Amy Fuel, the lady behind Homesteaders of America and that conference, that they are down into the low hundreds on available tickets left. There's about 6,000 tickets that they sell, and they're down just to the last few hundred. So they are selling out. And yes, Greg, it is. Ozarks was a great event. We enjoyed it a lot last year. But anyway, folks, there it is. That is the upcoming events all the way through October. And that is a wrap for today on the Farm2Table Direct Show. Get off of this over here. Wait a minute. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. It's a problem. I'm having to use my computer this morning for my lists and everything because my printer ran out of ink yesterday. Anyway, so where are we at here? That's right. You'd think I'd have this memorized by now, but I don't. Thanks for joining in as we explore headlines, interesting stories like stranger things happening in my skies above my house, lists and other things, but impacting and getting our world for now and in the future. If you enjoyed today's show, as they've been saying, don't forget to hit that like button, the old thumbs up. Give it that old thumbs up. Share it with your friends and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. Until next time, keep your roots deep and your vision growing. Good food starts with great people like y'all. And remember, as they've been saying in the chat, #stronger together. That's what we are. Be a blessing to someone today. Everybody be careful out there. Be safe. Scotty, get to feeling better. Get you some warm, some honey lemon. Get you some tea or something, some honey in there. Help your throat. Get that. Hope that gets to feeling better. Glad you're okay, though, as far as that. Robbie, take care of your back. I hope that gets to feeling better. And yes, I got to get my aluminum foil out. Yeah, it's no kidding. If I'd have had some last night, I'd have grabbed it. I think it was, but anyway. So listen, let everybody take care. Be safe out there. Stay warm. Stay dry. And again, be a blessing to someone today. And we will see you all on the other side. And we're going to turn this over to Hank to take us on out of here. We'll see you all later.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.